Hello everybody, this is Gregory with Permanent Weight Loss Made Easy, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about John Gosling, talking about how he regained weight after taking Ozempic, and also the recent South Park episode on Ozempic. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. I have kept off over 100 pounds for 30-something years, so I might be able to help you out. Also post a comment. So really quickly, John Gosling. John Gosling hasn't been relevant in 20 years. If he ever was relevant, he was on a TLC show with his wife, who ended up being just crazy cluster B, vengeful monster, alienating him from his kids after the divorce. She was just so, like, at the beginning of the show, she was pretty normal and all that, and the fame got to her, and she got hair highlights and essentially commoditized the kids, the sextuplets that they had. Either way, so John Gosling really hasn't been relevant in some time, but he lost weight on Ozempic, and then he's regained it. And so, like a lot of celebrities, and we'll talk about this with the South Park episode, a lot of people won't tell you that they're losing weight when they're taking Ozempic, but because he wanted to be real and be honest. So he talked about recently how he's gained his weight back because he can no longer afford Ozempic. And this is a reminder, and we just talked about recently how is Ozempic the new paradigm for weight loss for forever now? Is this going to be the first go-to thing instead of changing your eating habits, addressing the childhood trauma that you had that caused you to have an unhealthy relationship with food, and all the things that we talk about, getting to the true core of your disordered relationship with food and alcohol? Now it's going to be like, oh, there's an Insta pill. Oh, Big Pharma is making more of these. They're going to be more affordable. This is going to be the way. But this is one of the dangers of that way, is simply that what? If you can't take it forever, you're going to regain the weight. Not to mention the muscle wasting, its effects on certain digestive system organs that potentially lead to higher rates of cancer and all the other problems you're going to get from it. By the way, South Park, who, if you have, I believe it's on Paramount. If you have Paramount, you can catch all the South Park, and I think some of them are on HBO Max as well. But either way, they've done recently like what they'll call movies, but they're like 50-minute episodes. And so they recently did one on Ozempic. So the central premise is Cartman is no longer wanting to be fat because the doctor tells him he's fat. And so he learns about Ozempic, but he can't afford Ozempic because the only people that can get a prescription and where the insurance will cover it is if you are diabetic, because that's the indication for the drug, or that's the reason the drug exists. And so he can't afford it, and so the kids, his friends, help him to try to get it for him for affordable price. And so the episode's kind of a parody of the horrible sick care system that we have, this collusion between big pharma, big insurance, and doctors to keep us unhealthy. And then the other kind of like major thread in it is how a lot of the women in South Park are now taking Ozempic off-label, meaning they're not diabetic, but they're getting it and paying for it because they're wealthy. And so now they all are losing weight and wearing midriffs. And Stan, one of the dads, gets caught up into this drug culture and so forth. And then there's another plot line about the cereal makers are worried because so many people might get off of sugar, because part of being on Ozempic is that you lose appetite, and they don't want people, of course, to stop eating their product. So you got Captain Crunch and the Cocoa Puffs character and a bunch of others eventually go murderous, and they start killing people or companies that are making Ozempic or Ozempic related items. And then there's a final scene like Fast and the Furious where these characters and the midriff women are trying to stop the true use of Ozempic. Either way, I think the episode illustrates just a lot of really well-known points, because we know this in Hollywood, especially at the beginning when Ozempic was relatively scarce about a year and a half ago, was that true people who needed it, the injectables, couldn't get it because the supply was short, and the supply that existed was being consumed by rich celebrities or just rich people who would get it and use it off-label to lose weight, and of course not tell anybody that they're using it to lose weight. And so you saw this, and now this is no longer going to be as much of a problem because they're making so much more of them, all the different companies, Wegovy, Ozempic, there's going to be other ones because there's so much profit to be made, right? So much profit. Think about it. We always talk about like when you are diagnosed with hypertension or high cholesterol or depression, normally the doctors would tell you, you need to take this drug forever. But you really don't. But truly, Ozempic and Ozempic-related, the semaglutinides, are truly drugs you have to take forever, injectables. You have to take forever. And so this is like Big Pharma's like twirling their mustache. Of course they are, because this is a product you're going to have to take for life. Imagine the profits. I mean, they made so much off of the COVID, the devil's serum, but imagine how much profit they're going to make off of these, and that's why they're ramping them out. So if you do have Paramount, I do recommend you do watch the South Park episode, because as usual, it's an amazing satire. Yes, it's juvenile, but it satires so well so many things that are going on in America. Not just Ozempic, but they cover so many things that are just so dead on and true. And I would definitely recommend that you watch it. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.